All right, let's start out by saying Barak Tayhawa, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The End is Coming, whether you're ready or not. And pretty much this title comes through inspiration of something I was reading a little while ago um, in the book of Ezekiel 7, which we're going to get to it. And, you know, when you go back to the book of Ezekiel, some of those events that we read about happened during the Babylonian Empire, but the scriptures say that things which were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So we'll reflect back on certain scriptures that have already been fulfilled, but just to paint a picture, for what's coming in these times, but even worse, and this is why, we go back and we hit certain points, but as always, just remember when you're doing that, like if you're going to Daniel 8:25, we know that that's talking about Antiochus Epiphanes, but brothers will mention that's talking about Antiochus Epiphanes. It was fulfilled back then, but the same way that he did that with the policies, that's how Esau's doing it today, because that's their spirit, and that's how you qualify a particular scripture. All right. So we're at the very end, and we know that because of the prophecies and the way things are going, the direction that the world is in and the condition that the world is in with everything in it. As we speak, the world is moving to a, digital world reserve currency. They're pushing it. BRICS they just started printing those BRICS paper, the BRICS money. But everything that they have going on is going digital, so at the end of the day, when you have paper money and coins and stuff like that, you really can't control it unless you destroy it, and then the currency becomes worthless. And even if the currency is worthless, the belief that the people have in it and the backing of the government gives it teeth, and as long as that's going on, they'll be able to use those paper dollars, so on and so forth, as a means of exchange. But there's a reason why these devils are pushing everything to go online, is because at the end of the day, the final, or the pin that will make the whole floor of prophecy, collapse, so to speak, or come out and be fulfilled, is the MOTB, the micro CHIP. That's pretty much what's going to be the determining factor of how fast the prophecies move forward. All right. And we know that we're looking for the very end of this society, because that's the only way we can, enjoy life, real life, And I remember years ago, Elder Apostle used to say, man, I can't wait to the kingdom so we can get a real plate of food, and this is back when food was crap, but it was a lot better than it is today. Today is just straight up crap. Every time you eat out, you feel like dog shit, But nevertheless, 2 Peter 3:13, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because obviously in this society, righteousness does not dwell except for the very few, elect that the Lord has down here teaching, and even they still go off, So the word there is dikaiosune. It says, in a broad sense, state of him who is as he ought to be. See, righteousness, the condition acceptable to the Most High. So we're looking for a place, I found the place. So like we're looking for a place that's coming, that's going to be ruled in total righteousness, where everything, the whole vibe, everything is just going to be so calm and mellow and serene, and just on a whole nother level. Just the feeling of being there, heals your body. Just the idea of being surrounded by such things, gives nothing but pure positive energy. It says the doctrine concerning the way in which man may attain a state approved of the Most High: integrity, virtue, purity of life, rightness, correctness of thinking, feeling, and acting. Yeah, because once the kingdom of heaven is established, we're going to be changed. The laws are going to be inserted into our inward parts, and we're going to direct the other nations on what to do and how to do it. It says, in a narrower sense, justice, or the virtue which gives each his due. Right, because in the kingdom of heaven, things are going to be righteous. What scripture say, when the wicked bear the rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So when we get back into power, the people are going to rejoice, because although Esau and the other nations are going to be in captivity, especially the other nations, they know that they're going to get a fair shake, even though they're going to get their head beaten if they get out of line. They know that under us, they will get a fair shake. Under Esau, the only one that profits is Esau. Nobody else profits. Nobody else can make any money with this devil except for him. He'll give you like little peanuts to scratch and scrape, and once he's finished using you up, he discards you. So we're looking for a righteous place, a place that's ruled in total righteousness. Where among Israel, there's no sickness, no death, no sorrow, no grief, no depression, none of that bullshit. No bad food, no Shirleys, no Pookies, no Ray Rays, nothing there to hinder, or to give you a bad time, because the Lord said that he's going to wipe away all tears. But in the meanwhile, here it is, we're in this society that's ruled by total wickedness, and you see the total change. It's totally opposite of what a righteous kingdom is supposed to be. That's why this place has to go down in order for the kingdom to come up. So in 2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 26, it says, then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hastens fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend it. So it's hasting fast to pass away. And you see the time is moving. We're already in the 7th month, of the year. The year just started. It seemed like, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and we're already in the second half of this year. And by September, early September, the so-called Haitians, which are the tribe of Levi, that are here on a TPS, a temporary, pretty much temporary passport or whatever the case is, or pass, they got to turn themselves in or risk getting arrested by ICE and being deported back to Haiti. You see? So things it's it's going to get bad. And like I said, we're already in the second half of this year, so it's just going to start. It's going to keep intensifying. It says, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. Why? Because of the total congested wickedness that's here in this society. People cannot perceive anything else other than this, because this is what they're used to. This is what they're looking toward. This is what they, have pretty much come to the conclusion, okay, this is what's it. This is what it is. I got to make the best of it. I'm not looking for anything else. It says, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come, for this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. The bottom line. It says, but as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, right? Because there's evil that's been sown on this planet, and it's each year that goes by, each day, and every moment that goes by, it progressively gets more and more wicked. But the destruction thereof is not yet come. So we see it wicked, it's super wicked, but the destruction hasn't come yet. And this is why You know, the Lord says to set a mark upon them that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So in our spirits, we're crying out, you know, and even, you know, in our flesh, we're crying out to the Lord to destroy this place. And even when we're not praying in our mind, you know, or out loud, our spirits are praying to the heavens. You know, like the scriptures say, with words that cannot be uttered. You know, there's things that we go through that you can't really express in words. And that's why the Lord said he tries the hearts and the reins of men. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down. So if Esau's kingdom doesn't be turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, you know, beginning with Babylon the Great, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So this is why, you know, we pray that this place goes down. We put curses on this place. You know, we bless the elect and we curse the rest. You know, because the sooner that this MOTB system is in place, the sooner we get out of here. You know, that's why, you know, there's scriptures say wars and rumors of wars, but you know, at this point, you just want to hear about the shit that's popping off. You don't want to hear about rumors. You know, you don't want to hear about in 10 days they're gonna do so and so and bring. No, do it. You know, because it's been going on for a minute. So the actions now, and the actions are needed now. You know, and the Lord is speeding things up. You know, so you're going to see the actions that the Lord is going to bring. All right. It says, for the grain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness has it brought up unto this time, meaning during the time of Ezra, and how much shall it yet bring forth unto the time of threshing come. So things are going to get progressively wicked, more wicked. Ponder not by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed has brought forth. See, so at this time when this vision was given to Ezra, that was around 500 BC, about a good 2,500 years ago. And the world was super wicked from the beginning. So how much more now in these times? And it's 2025. You know? So let's go from there. Let's go to Ezekiel. You know, so you're not going to be able to continue in this wickedness. Wickedness has an end. Righteousness is immortal. Ezekiel 7:5. Thus saith the Lord power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come. The end is come. It watches for the behold, it is come. Now, this goes into, you know, Jake back during the Babylonian Empire, the kingdom of Judah being destroyed and being taken over and brought into captivity under the Babylonians, or the Babylonian Empire, which was run by Assyrians. But the point is, this is, you know, fast approaching now. This is like the time where Yahushua told the women, don't weep for me, weep for yourselves and for your children. Because if you had known in this thy day, you know, the things that belong to your peace, but now they're hid from your face. Because Yahushua saw the devastation 30 some odd years into the future. He was seeing the Romans coming through, destroying Jake, you know, slaying Jake, men, women, children. Saw them starving. See? And it was hid from their eyes, just like it's hid from their eyes today. So the end is come. The end is come and watches for thee. Because the Lord, you know, it ain't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the Lord is bringing it. And he's speeding the time up. It says, behold, it is come. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come. The day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. Right. So pretty much the time of trouble is near. You know, people are in anguish, but it's going to get worse. It's going to continue to get progressively worse. And Jake is going to catch more and more hell. And instead of, the sounds of rejoicing and mirth in the streets, is going to turn into weeping and wailing for the times that are coming, because Jake took this for a joke. They didn't believe that the Lord was going to bring these things. Even back then when we were speaking about it, going all the way back, even before the YouTube era, it's just been getting progressively worse. And you're seeing the fruits of it now, all these years later. So it says, now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish mine anger upon thee. And I would see, so the Lord's going to pour out his fury upon Jake out here and accomplish his anger upon Jake. Like when your parents keep warning you not to do something, but you keep on at it because, you don't see any immediate danger, not knowing that danger is lurking around the corner and that you're about to get the ass whooping of your life. But, you just keep pushing because ain't nothing happening to you. You thinking it's pushover day for your parents. And all of a sudden something snaps and you get the worst ass whooping you ever had in your life. Or that's what's coming for Jake. Jake is playing around. So the Lord's going to pour his fury and accomplish his anger upon Jake. When you see Esau and these troops and all that coming, that's going to be the anger of the Lord in them to bring it upon Jake. Because that's the only thing that Jake understands is an ass whooping. And I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all thine abominations. And mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. Yeah, because when this time comes, the time for mercy and pity and all that is going to be over. You've been given that time. You're in that time now still. And you're just getting progressively worse and worse and worse. You could just see the state of Jake. From back then till now. From 10 years to now, from 5 years ago till now. You could just see the constant degeneration. So there's got to be a payback for that, because we are the people of the Most High. So we represent the Most High on the earth. So look at the condition that Jake is in. Jake is not in the condition for the world to say that, look, see those people right there? Those are the people of God right there. Those are the people of the Heavenly Father. No, it's the total opposite. So you don't think the Lord is going to come and judge Jake for that? Because you better believe that the higher ups in this society, they know who the fuck we are. They know who the Israelites are. They're not stupid. It says, and mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee, and you shall know that I am Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, that smiteth you. All right. All right, so let's go from there. Let's go to Isaiah 13. Now, this is speaking about Babylon the Great. But you Jakes are here in Babylon the Great, and you are partaking in Babylon the Great's, cup. You're pickled in it. So the destruction that's coming upon Esau and America, Babylon the Great, is going to be also upon you. This is Isaiah 13:22. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses. That's after the destruction of America. And dragons in their pleasant palaces. Yeah, because you're not going to have any buildings left. You're not going to have any state lines, any highways, nothing. Everything's going to be wiped out. It's going to be the lines of confusion and the stones of emptiness. It says, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So the judgment of America, Babylon the Great, is near. So is the judgment of you Jakes. Because before America is totally engulfed in flames by the nuclear missiles and the lasers from the chariots, there's going to be hard times in this land, because Jake has to go through their purging process, and the elect are going to have to go through it. Like when you go back into the book of Daniel 11 during the time of the Maccabees, you had certain Israelites that were righteous that suffered death, that were punished, that were destroyed. But it was just to make them white and to cement their position in these times now. You see? So we're about to go through the last process of purging. But Jake out there, they don't have a clue of what's going on. See, the Lord woke us up and gave us his knowledge. That's why it says, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. But Jake doesn't have that. They don't have that, that anchor. So it says, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Let's look up this word prolonged. Because this is why Jake, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to sum up Jake in one word. I'm going to sum up Jake in one word: procrastinators. Procrastinator. I told one woman, because I checked her out, okay? My ex, I told, I was looking, like at her patterns. And I said, you know what? I said, you're a procrastinator. She just started laughing, because it's true. I said, man, she always talking about, she was like talking that Keith Sweat shit. I'm gonna, and she never did. So I just came to the conclusion and said, you know what? You're a procrastinator. She said, you're right. She didn't even, argue. It says to draw, drag, seize. Right, to drag or to slow down. So there's not going to be any prolonging. Let's see. See, to be drawn out, postponed, be deferred. So it's not going to be postponed. Your time is, you're not going to be able to buy more time. It's not going to be prolonged. The end is coming, and it is here. So let's go to Ezekiel 12. And we're going to start at 23. All you got to do is keep your eye, on the news, especially on this whole this technological era where technology is exploding. AI, they're bringing that AI out, to the fullest, pretty much flaunting in people's eyes, in the public's eye, what they plan on doing for the future, or they plan on having robots, and machines take over the workforce. And they show you that in futuristic movies, but then when we quote those futuristic movies, you guys are, always got to go to movies, and and that's why an individual like that, you say, okay, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Tell him to walk on down the street. So like it for a minute. So like I had to get a little bit of water. All right, so this is Ezekiel chapter 12. I'll start at 21. It says, and the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that you have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? Right, and this is what Jake feels. Jake feels that they have all the time in the world. And this is why, the thing of Jake is when they're young, they want to go out and live their life, and then when they get older, that's when they want to serve the Lord. But it's the other way around. Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. Right. Because this is why Jake don't take this serious, because they don't feel the effects of the power behind the words that the Most High spoke, because they haven't been judged yet. But it's coming. The effect. The word there is dabar, which is word. Speech, word, speaking, thing, right? When the thing starts to happen. No, that's going to be the effect. All right. And the effect of, see, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. So the things that they saw, the prophet saw, they eventually came to pass. Now we're at the very end where where the rest of the prophecies that were spoken back then are being fulfilled now. For there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel, right? Because you're not going to be able to push, this thing off anymore. The time of Jacob's trouble pretty much is here. We're just at the threshold of it. You're not going to be able to put it off anymore. You're not going to be able to, go back to enjoying your life how it used to be, because every time some event happens, people's lives become worse, and they would like to go back a year prior to where they're at now, but you can't. And it just gets progressively worse. It says, "For I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, whether you accept it or not. It shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, and saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai." So the Lord is going to speak it and perform it. And this is why he sends the prophets out first. Because once they speak his words, then he brings forth the actions, which will be the judgment. Again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, "Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come." And he prophesied of the times that are far off. And Jake still has the same mentality to this day. To this day. Let's go real quick, because this is not a new, this is not a new way of thinking. 2 Peter 3:3, "Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts." And this is what Jake is, a bunch of scoffers. Following a multitude to do evil, or whether they're doing it, individually. They're a bunch of scoffers. And saying, "Where is the promise of his coming?" Yeah, where the Lord? You said they've been saying that since my grandmother's days and her grandmother's, and that ain't coming to the future. "For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation." Yeah. See, the destruction, ain't no destruction coming. That's going to be way in the future. 1,000 years in the future, according to some individuals. But it says, "For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water." Right. And that world which was destroyed, they were warned back then by Noah of the impending dangers. And they took it lightly. And they didn't listen. And they kept on with their business. And eventually, when the Lord told Noah, "Look, take the animals, put them in there, and take your family, put them in there," and the Lord shut the door. It was the Lord that shut the door. And no one could open that door. So that's symbolic today of this knowledge, which is going to be the salvation. If the Lord opens the door, you can get in. If the Lord shuts the door, you can't get in. So the Lord shut the door. And then all of a sudden, drops of rain started coming down. And the people started, panicking, freaking out. Because they're like, "Wait a minute, this is what Noah was talking about. Well, let's go talk to him, Then they start marching over there, and they start raining harder and harder and harder. Before you know it, they're trying to get in the ark. "No, we believe you now, man. Yeah, you told, we were just messing with you, man." That's how it's going to be today. Jay's going to be lollygagging, BSing, doing what they do. "Oh, yeah. I get to the Lord when I get to the Lord." Okay. All right. And then to the Lord lowered the boom on them. It says, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. Yeah. And they were warned. So that world came to an end. Then you had the reestablishing of society again through Noah's three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth started to become repopulated again. You know, and what happens? Same shit. It becomes wicked. Then you have empires growing. Sumeria, Babylon, Egypt. You know, empires rose and empires fell. And then you had the major four empires that will usher in the end of the world, which were, you know, Gentile empires, beginning with the Assyrio-Babylonian Empire, Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, and the Roman Empire. So we're at the bottom half of the Roman Empire today, the revival of the Roman Empire. And until this empire doesn't go down, the kingdom cannot be established, because two kings can't sit on one throne. I don't know if they went up there and told you. All right, so let's go back to Ezekiel 12 and 27. Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say the vision is that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesies of the times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Yeah, because he already told us, though it tarry, wait for it. You know? See, and the thing about it, see, the reason why Jake, you know, doesn't fear the Lord is because the Lord's time is different from our time. Our time is slow. The Lord's time is quick. So when the Lord, you know, judges us, it takes longer here on the earth. And this is why Jake doesn't respect or fear the Lord until the Lord really puts something on them to make them respect him. And this is what the Lord is about to do with the time of Jacob's trouble. He's going to put, you know, Jacob's trouble on Jake to show them that they better respect the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You know, but for a lot of them, it's going to be too late because they're going to be destroyed. So Habakkuk chapter 2 and 3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, though it seems like it's taking a while, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And this is where we're at now. But look at how long it took in our lifetime. You see? But to the Lord, it's like that. Remember, one day with the Lord is 1,000 years. You know? So our time is different from the Lord's time. All right, so let's go from there. Did I finish that? Yep, finished that. So let's go from there to oh, that was the last precept I had. Okay, so let's go back to 2 Peter then. All right, 2 Peter 3. I'll start at 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. What is that great noise? The boom from the nuclear missiles. And the heavens is talking about these governmental agencies today, beginning with America, Babylon the Great. It says that the powers of heaven shall be shaken. That means that all of these empires or all of these governmental agencies around the world that have any type of power or sway are going to be shaken. Because when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's coming to strip every nation, all of their rulers. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That's from the missiles and the lasers from the chariots. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up, right? Because Esau's empire is going to go down once America is totally annihilated. And then that great earthquake is going to cause a lot of devastation on the planet Earth, because everything on the planet Earth has to be cleaned up. All of these different man-made buildings and all of this, you know, cars and all of that has to be done away with. Everything has to be refreshed, renewed, cleansed. So all of that's going to be done away with, and everything's going to start back over fresh. The Lord's going to hit the reset button, on the earth, beginning with the, government of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and the Israelites over the other nations. And everything's going to go back to how it's supposed to be. Like even now when you walk down certain, places where you have meadows and you have like a garden or flowers and stuff, and you can smell that pleasant aroma. Well, that's how the whole earth is going to be when righteousness rules in it again. This place is wicked. When you walk down the street, you smell shit and piss, and that ain't how you're supposed to live, man. There's rules and regulations. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. See, and then that all these things shall be dissolved. What manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? See? So what are we supposed to be talking about? Well, the things that are coming, the end. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens, being on fire, meaning Esau's heavens, shall be dissolved, meaning they're going to be taken down, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, because all of America will be on fire. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's what we're waiting for. But in order for that to come, that can't come until this one goes down. So the sooner this place goes down, the better. And what's going to push this empire to go down quicker is once the MOTB system is in place, which is the micro CHIP. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.